this video will require you to focus, because I'm going to show you exactly how to get ahead in your career, right? So right now, if you are building a career of any sort, right, probably you've been to university, you've just graduated, and you don't know exactly how to get started with your career. You don't know how to get a job. You don't know how to make money out of your career. You don't know exactly where you need to get started, because most of you were told that once you graduate off of university, the government is going to hire you and you're gonna start working within the government. So probably most of you are waiting for government job boards to present you with a job so you can apply, right, and probably start working. But the problem with what you're doing right now is that there are hundreds of thousands of people just like you who are waiting for government to present them jobs so they can apply for those jobs and get hired and probably start working, right? So which is not reasonable for you to actually do what thousands of other people are actually doing, thinking you're gonna be the one that's is gonna get that job, right? So I want you to do something a little bit crazy. I want you to do something that is a little bit abnormal, right? Because if you try to be like every other normal person, doing what every single normal person does, you are probably going to be like any other person, right? So here is the thing, right? So here is you. Here you are the person, you're trying to build your career, right? And in between here there are hundreds of thousands of people, right, that have the same qualifications as you, that want to get the exact same job that you're looking for. And all of these people are doing exactly what you're doing. They're waiting for the government to release jobs on the job boards. They're waiting for someone to give them a call and tell them you're hired. They're busy complaining, blaming the government as to why the economy is bad. With them not having a job, things are going down, right? Everything is falling, right? So this is you who is trying to build up your career, and these are your competitors who are doing the exact same thing that you are doing. And here this other side presents opportunities, right? So I want to understand this mindset right here. So remember, there's no one that owes you a job, right? No one owes you a job. The moment you understand this, trust me, things are gonna be very, 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 very easy for you. No one owes you a job. Remember, the purpose of you being in a university is so you can get information, right? Is so you can get information. That is the whole purpose of you being in a university. If you're studying business administration, you're studying medicine, you're studying medicine, you are studying finance and accounts, you are studying natural sciences or whatsoever you are studying. The reason of you studying whatever you're studying right now is so you can gain a bit of information. And once you gain this information, and now you have skill sets, right? You have skill sets that can get you hired or worthy to work on certain projects, right? That is the reason as to why you're in school right now. It's because you're trying to get information that can get you skilled in specific or certain industries, so you can easily get hired or worthy of working on certain projects, right? Because right now, if you didn't go through the medical school, right, you can be a doctor, right? You can be hired as a doctor. If you didn't go through, if you didn't take a study in accounts, finance whatsoever, you can't get hired as an accountant, right? Remember what I'm saying here. I'm not trying to tell you that you can't get hired if you didn't go to university. That's what I'm saying here. But I know most of the people who are going to be watching me are people who've been to university or whatsoever. That is why, right? I'm not saying you can't get hired if you didn't go to university. You can get hired in in sales and marketing even if you didn't go to university. You can get hired as a researcher, right, writer, and many other high-paying jobs even if you didn't go to university. So what's gonna actually make you credible to get hired or to work on these projects is your skill set, right? You need to develop skill sets, right? So this is the first thing I'm going to talk about in this video, because if you don't have the skill set, trust me, no one is going to hire you. So why are skill sets important? Maybe let me highlight why these skill sets are going to be very important and play a role in you getting hired before you start thinking otherwise. Why is this guy telling me to go and build skill sets like everybody else tells you to build skill sets? But why, right? Remember, the people you're gonna work with, this could be your employer, your boss, partners. It could be partners, boss or whatsoever. These people, I must assume they are running an organization, right? So this is the organization they are running. And what these people care about, they care about people who will come in and take charge of these aspects of their organization, so that the organization is running at its maximum efficiency, making as much profit as it possibly can, and scaling, right, growing. Right? That's what these people are cared about. They don't care about your degree. They don't care about, your master's degree, your PhD, whatsoever. No, they care about your ability, right? They care about your ability to push growth. This is what they care about. So the moment you understand, why employers or bosses hire people, you are going to be better. You are going to know exactly how to reach out to them if you're looking for a job now, right? So most of you are entitled, right? You are entitled to a job simply because you have a degree. No one owes you a job even if you have a degree, right? Remember, people have their own motives, right? Every time people bring you in their circle, it's because they want you to fulfill part of their motive, right? So like I said, in an aspect of this organization here, this employer wants people who come and push organizational growth. That is why they're hiring you. They are not hiring you out of pity, because you didn't eat last night, you lack a job, you can't survive, you've been evicted by your landlord. Those are your problems and your issues to deal with, right? Let's face the truth, right? Those are your own issues and problems to deal with, and that is not what will get you a job. I've seen many people looking for a job saying, no, my mom is almost dying in the hospital, I need a job to buy Medicare. I totally sympathize with such stories, right? Almost everybody goes through their own pains, their own problems, their own battles. But if you are going to get hired, you have to look at a greater cause, right? So now here is the thing. An employer, right? An employer, is looking for someone who come, and be part of his organization and push value, push growth, right? That's what they're looking for. So every time you get to somebody who has the potential to hire you, has the potential to change your life, don't ask for money, don't ask for a job, don't go there with a poverty mindset of trying to collect from these people. Go with a mindset of trying to add value, right? Look at the leaky holes within their organization, within their businesses, and spot where you can add value, right? Because if you can add value and you justify, right, without any reasonable doubt that, okay, I am the kind of person you're looking for, there is no reason they will hire you, right? So you need to identify portals, right? And the correct portals, and see how you can bridge that gap, right? And they are going to hire you because you're bringing value within their businesses. For example, let's say their marketing has leaky holes, and you come in and show them how to 10x revenue with proper marketing. They're going to buy into your ideas. Let's say their sales team is crumbling down, and you show them a strategy that can help them close 5x more sales. You are valuable. They're going to need you. If, let's say, for example, a company as finance is not well organized, and you tell them that you can show them how to use a certain system that will help them project company performance, and you help them with things like reducing tax strategy they can use to reduce tax, and get sponsorships and things like this. These things are valuable to companies. Now that you're presenting value, they are obviously going to hire you. So the only thing you need to do right here is to identify your unique value zone, right? Because trust me, your degree, let me say this plainly, your degree, your master's degree, and your PhD, no one cares about it. No one cares about your degree, no one cares about your PhD, and no one cares about your master's degree. I see most people pushing these qualifications when they're looking for a job. They're trying to find someone to hire them. They're pushing their degree. It's good to have a degree. It's good to have a master's degree. It's good to have a PhD. All of these things are good. But if you don't know, how to position yourself in a way that people value you, whatever papers that you hold no value. Because remember, there are millions of people on planet Earth who have a degree just like you. So now it's not exciting to know that you have a degree, right? And these millions of people can do the basic things that you can do. So what makes you think you're valuable? Because look at this. Value, how you measure value is this. You look at the number of people that can do what you can do, right? And the pain. You look at pain. How much pain is that person feeling for having this gap that I can solve, right? You look at the pain, you look at the number of people that can solve that solution, and now let's say there are over 1 million people that have degrees in finance, and there are 10 companies looking for finance specialists. So this industry becomes less valuable because there are tons of people who can fulfill what you can fulfill. So now you need to be able to elevate your value and reach a point where maybe only 100 people can fulfill what you can fulfill, and there are thousands, if not millions, of business owners that are looking for that solution. Now you're more valuable, right? So let me repeat this point, right? So if we look at value right here, right, you look at the number of people that can do what you can do, right? How many people can do what you can do? Then number two, you look at the pain that the pain the person is feeling for not having you in their life. If you're an accountant, what problems are they struggling with for not having an accountant? If you're a sales expert, what problems are they struggling with for not having a sales expert? Right? So in the example I gave, let's say you're a finance person, right? You're a finance person, and there are 1 million other finance people, right? And only 10 companies are looking for finance people. What are your chances, of being the one to be hired for, 10 or, chances of, these finance jobs, right? Even if even if you are hired by any chance, trust me, you are going to be compensated less, because there are 1 million other people that can do what you can do. So if you are fired, the company has it has no pain, because they know, we can still hire someone in a split second, boom, just like this, because there are many people like you who own, what you own. So your value is lowered. Your value is lowered simply because thousands of people can do what you can do, right? So that is why I'll tell you for a fact, that is why, if I give an example here in Zambia, this is Zambia, right? Teachers are paid low salaries. I'll say this plainly. Low salaries, I don't know how it defines low salaries, but according to me, they are paid low salaries simply because there are thousands, if not millions, of unemployed teachers. So even if the government was to fire 30,000 teachers today, fired, they can easily hire 30,000 teachers by tomorrow. So just know that this industry, the value has gone down for the people that are working within this industry. They can't command a huge pay because of how many people that can do what they can do. That's how we measure value. So now, here's the thing. You want to make sure that you are as valuable as you possibly can. So remember what I told you here. If we talk about value, we look at, the pain people are going through. For example, let me give you an example. You are in a desert, right? You are in a desert and there is no water in that desert. Let me show you here where value comes in. You are in a desert and there is no water within that desert. You are about to die, right? And let's say a bottle of water in town is sold at $2. And in the desert, someone can easily sell you a bottle of water at $1,000 because you're about to die. Which one is more valuable? You being alive or $1,000, right? There's only one person selling a bottle of water for $1,000, and if you don't buy water from this person, you're going to collapse, faint, and probably die. Right? So you see, so in the desert, water becomes more valuable because it is scarcity. But out here, water is less valuable because there are thousands of other people that you can buy water from. So you have many options. That is exactly what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm getting this point so well across. So if you look at people who are highly paid people, they do tasks that very few people can do. That is why neurosurgeons are paid high than general doctors. It's because very few people, are neurosurgeons. Very few people can operate at this level compared to this level. So because there are very few people here, and somebody with brain issues, if you have brain issues, This is a serious problem, right? It's a serious brain issue, that is a serious problem, and people who can solve this serious problem are paid high. Okay, so now let's look at it in this way. So you need to solve a serious, make sure that whatever you studied, whatever you're an expert at, has to solve a serious problem, right? This is pain. It's a serious problem, it's a serious pain, and there should be very few people who can solve that problem. I can give you another example. Let's say, for example, you are a master. You are a master at formatting phones. You are the world-class master at formatting phones, right? And you are only 100 the whole world that are masters of formatting phones. Trust me, you can't command huge pay on this type of a skill, simply because in this era, who even goes to a tech person to format. A 5-year-old child can format a phone. A 10-year-old child can format a phone. So even if you're a master at formatting phones, you won't command a huge pay on such type of a task, because simply because of the level at which technology is at. So okay, great, you are a master at formatting phones and you are 100 master at formatting phones. Even if my 5-year-old brother is not a master at formatting phones, if he can, bro, I'm giving him, right? So this is not a skill that is solving a high problem, right? So we're getting there, right? So you have to understand that to command a good pay, right, or to beat others within your specialty, you have to be able to go an extra mile, right? You have to be able to go an extra mile. So let's say, for example, in accounts, this other person only know how to do data entry. But for you, if you understand how tax works, right, you know exactly what business can do to reduce their tax, this is valuable to companies, right? You know exactly how to solicit sponsorships, using your accounts whatsoever. You know exactly how to get deals for companies by projecting how well the company is operating. Now you are outsmarting the industry, because most people will stick to what they learned in university, which is not so valuable, because there are millions of other people that learned the exact same thing they learned. So you need to go an extra mile, right? So I'm showing you exactly here how to get a job. So once now you've understood that, number one, companies, let me get it. Companies, are looking for people who can come in and add value to their organization, add value to organizational growth, right? And you understand that you have to outsmart your competition, right? There are people who've studied what you've studied. You need to outsmart them, you need to outlearn them, you need to outgrow them, right? So you are the only one visible. Imagine you grow this big, you are this tower here, and every person beneath you only know what they've learned in university. This is where they are. You are going to overshadow them so much that every time people are looking for, they are looking for an accountant, it's you they can see, simply because it's only your star that is shining that bright, right? So that is how things work. That is how it works in career, right? So now, once you understand this, what do you want to do? You want to start now, looking for people to hire you. And basically, this is where most people get stuck, right? So even if you look for companies that are going to hire you, people that are going to hire you, and you are still struggling with your skill sets, trust me, it's not going to work, because these people want results, right? So you have to make sure that you take the skill set side, deal with the skill set side. Once your skills are in check, everything is in place, now you look for companies, people that are going to hire you. Right, so how do you go about this, right? Remember, you lead with value. Lead with value. So what I want you to do is, I want you to go on LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn, again, shame on you. Go on LinkedIn and find people that own businesses. The people you're looking for here are CEOs, CFOs, COOs, HR people. So this is chief executive officers, chief finance officers, chief operating officers, HR people, decision makers within the company, managers, whatsoever. Find these people, and what I want you to do is take 5 minutes to look at their company website. Take 5 minutes to look at their company websites. Look at their pages on Facebook. Look at what they offer, their services whatsoever, and based looking at your skill set, identify what you can offer them that would be of value to their organization. Do this to the next 100 companies, the next 1,000 companies, and come back and comment on this video and tell me if you won't get a job. If you won't get a job, if you won't get hired, if you won't get that deal, if you still be where you are right now, trust me, I'll probably delete my all my social media platforms and go to the village and live with grandma. If you do this, you sharpen your skills, make sure that you increase your value. I've already showed you what value is, right? And once you've done this, you open a LinkedIn account, you find these decision makers within companies, and you look at their websites, you look at their social media platforms, understand what they are selling, what they are offering, right? And now you go ahead and reach out to these people with your unique value zone. You can either send them a proposal, send them a Loom video. So how you can reach out? You can reach out in many ways. You can write them a proposal, telling them, okay, great. Hey, company X, I saw that you own an IT company, a tech company. This is exactly what you're selling, and I've noticed that you have very low sales within your marketing company, and I came up with an XYZ strategy to help you make more money or boost your sales. Is there a chance that we can actually book a meeting so I can show you how my strategy works and how it can be implemented within your organization? Boom, you are presenting them with value. So in the same way, whatever industry you're in finance, you are in supply and demand whatsoever, you are into PR, public relations whatsoever, do this exact thing, right? And trust me, you're going to see wonders, because most people are not doing this thing. That's why I'm telling you to do this thing in the first place. Most people are not doing it, right? That is why most people are the same, right? So do it to the next 100 companies, to the next 1,000 companies, as many. Make it your hobby, make it your enjoyment to speak to business owners, to speak to corporate individuals, right? The first person may not hire you, but they'll give you an experience. The second person may not hire you, but they'll give you a reputation of an experience, right? The third, fourth, fifth, 10th, 20th, 30th, right, person may not hire you. They may not, and they may hire you. Depends, right? Depends on the work you're putting in. Depends on many factors. The work you're putting in, depends on many factors. Right? But trust me, if you do between 100 to 1,000 follow-ups or outreach to these business owners, you will not only get a job, that contract, or sign that client you're looking for, you will gain more experience, right? And you'll be way more connected than you ever thought. More experience, more connection than you ever thought, right? So this is exactly how to do it. If you want to learn more from me on how to build your career and outsmart and outperform all your competitors, comment launch in the comment section. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. If you're watching from YouTube, I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video. Just go and click on that link and I'll show you, how to build your career like crazy and outsmart all your competition. All of that said, this is Obama Premier Close. I'll always love you and peace out. Bye.